J.D. Vance, who is his running mate, talking about childless cat ladies.
Oh my God, look what's being said about Kamala. It goes both ways. They're both saying it.
I don't know that it's going both ways to have the childless cat lady comment or a DEI hire. Who's calling J.D.?
You guys are really bad. Fox is bad. Everybody's bad. Cut through the BS and vote for who you think is the most fit to run the country. That's our job as voters. But do I think that she is fit for the job? I do not.
Hey fam, welcome back to One and Done. We've got a double header for you today. First up, we've got CNN, and Laura Coates is interviewing Dana White. Now, Dana White's been his transparent self. He gives the mainstream liberal media a bit of a slap around and a reality check. He tells us and gives us his response to Donald Trump's assassination attempt. Now, you must stick around after Dana White's interview. Elon Musk's been super busy. He put together a video, a parody. It's absolutely hilarious, of Kamala Harris. Now, before we dive in, don't forget to hit that like, smash the subscribe, ring the notification bell, and let's roll that tape.
Joining me now, a staunch supporter and friend of former President Donald Trump, the president of the UFC, Dana White. Dana, good to see you again. How you doing?
I'm awesome. Thanks for having me.
Last time many people saw you, you were at the RNC on the stage, and it was you, not the First Lady, not his kids, that introduced the former president of the United States. And it came at a time when he had just had an attempt on his life. I wonder what that experience was like for you, and what has been the reaction to you being in that very political space?
Yeah, no, it was obviously I was very honored, and the family was very supportive of me being the person to introduce him. So yeah, it was an honor. And the response to me has been incredible. You know, people I haven't talked to in 10, 15 years, everybody's reaching out to me and you know, obviously responding on the speech.
Man, Trump, you got to find a spot for this dude. Like, he comes out and he tells it how it is. That's a rare commodity these days. He's unafraid of anybody. But he seems to be honorable, seems to be a straight up guy. And definitely I do admire that about him. Now, when it came to Dana, he was on holidays in Italy. He got the call, and at first he said no. He wasn't available. He's on holiday. He hadn't been on holiday for so long. And Trump's spokesman said, okay, no problem. Then Dana spoke to his wife. His wife said, you can't let him down. You've got to be there. And he manned up and he came, and the speech was pretty amazing.
You've known him for decades, and many people who are pundits and talking about it, they were looking at that assassination attempt and they were expecting it to change who he was as a person. When you spoke to him, did you see any change or reaction about what that experience was like for him to have an attempt on his life?
No, and you're so right. I mean, I've known people that have had those type of experiences before, and it definitely changed them. This is the most resilient human being I've ever seen. And you know, I was flying to Italy when it happened, and I was so freaked out, but I was freaked out by it. How he couldn't be, you know, how he couldn't be, like you said, changed by this attempt on his life. He's one of the strongest, most resilient human beings that I've ever met in my life. And, you know, everybody thinks they're a tough guy until it's time to do tough guy things. The way that he reacted to that attempt on his life was, you know, my respect level has gone even higher for him, the way he handled that. And as far as the American people, everybody should be outraged that this happened to him. If it happened to Clinton, if it happened to Obama, if it happened to Bush, if it happened to, you know, Biden, every American should be enraged by an attempt on a former or sitting president's life. And the way that he handled it, I have so much respect for him.
Now, you can tell the mainstream media, the liberal media, they are not buying into this. They're not showing any compassion at all. Yet, Hunter Biden's a druggie. Oh, you know, they pander, and Joe Biden's love for his son. Yet Donald Trump takes a bullet, stands up, and I must admit, if anyone was doubting, anyone had any questions, does this guy care about this country? You can't say anything after that. It's a W for Trump. And Dana's respect's gone up. My respect's gone up. I mean, I would have I would have ducked for cover. I would have pushed that little woman out of the way. I would have been running for the car. But not Donald J. He said, I got this. And he just reassured the crowd, reassured his supporters that he was okay and he wanted to fight.
Well, Secret Service's director has resigned as a result of the outrage that is collected bipartisanly. But there were many who thought that it would change his approach to politics and improve the approach he would take. But this campaign has already gotten pretty nasty.
But you can't change Trump. Trump is who he is. He's a very rare person, very rare human being. He's a 1%er, even less than a 1%er. He's once in a lifetime type person.
I think people expected it to get nasty now that there is a new head of that Democratic ticket. It's the Vice President, Kamala Harris. You know, you've joked before that politics is way nastier than sports or the UFC. But what we're seeing, I mean, there's a labeling of the Vice President as a DEI hire. You yourself have prided yourself on giving both men and women opportunities at your organization. What do you think of this message that attacks the race and gender of an opponent?
Yeah, I don't judge people by their politics and you know, who they vote for or any of that stuff. And listen, I don't know Kamala. She seems like she's a nice person.
Stick around. We've got a viral clip of Kamala Harris that was released by Elon Musk. You've got to watch it. It's very revealing. It's hugely hilarious. Now, even though it's a parody, it's very close to home, close to the truth.
You know, I have nothing against her whatsoever. And like I said, I'm not political, but do I think that she is fit for the job? I do not, personally.
But it's not necessarily about the policy. It's the approach to attacking one. I mean, I know that you are very well versed in what it's like to have a matchup, and people are going to go at each other for the sake of the sport and entertainment. But when it comes to attacks particularly, I mean, there was that quote from J.D. Vance, who is his running mate, talking about childless cat ladies. I mean, these are not things that are in line with enveloping perhaps women into the fold, which is something you have always stood for, you say, in your sport. Why shouldn't that be the same in politics?
Yeah, well, listen, politics are the most disgusting, nasty. It's atrocious what is said. And the things that are being said on one side are being said on the other side too, about Trump and about you know, his choice for vice president. It goes both ways. This isn't like, oh my God, look what's being said about Kamala. It goes both ways. They're both saying it, and like you said, it's already heated up and gotten nasty. And like you said earlier, it's only going to get nastier. That's politics. It is what it is, and it definitely goes both ways.
I don't know that it's going both ways to have the childless cat lady comment or a DEI hire. Who's calling you think that Vice President Kamala Harris is calling J.D. Vance a DEI hire, Dana? Come on.
But he's not a DEI hire. That's the difference. The thing is, Biden came out and basically said Kamala was a DEI hire. He said he needs a woman, he needs a black woman or a woman of color. And Kamala was the nearest one, I guess, and he tagged her.
But either way, she's going to say other nasty stuff about both of them. It goes both ways. And as voters, what we need to do is cut through all the BS, and you have to look at who do you think is best fit to run the country for the next 4 years. That is our job as voters. All of this stuff is a bunch of nasty BS. All of it. Who's best fit to run the country? You as a voter, that's what you need to decide. Not, oh my God, he said this, and oh my God, she said that. There's going to be a lot of that over the next several months. Cut through, and especially the media. Cut through all the BS that the media on both sides. You guys are really bad. Fox is bad.
Whoa, Dana's called her out. Dana's called out CNN. You guys are really bad. Well, he's calling out Fox as well.
Everybody's bad. Cut through the BS and vote for who you think is the most fit to run the country. That's our job as voters.
Well, look, I don't wear pearls. I don't pretend to clutch them and pretend that I'm shocked by every nasty insult that is waged against another person. But I think your point, though, about the American people wanting to know who's best for the country, This is the issue. When people are focusing not on policy positions, but personal attacks that have nothing to do with what voters want to hear about, that detracts from the experience of voters making a decision, and that's the problem. And I'm going to just know when you say you guys are terrible, you clearly don't mean Laura Coates. But Dana, that's happening, by the way, right now. And you got this fight that everyone is actually talking about, not in Paris, but now in England. They might be a little mad at you these days, Dana.
Everybody's mad at me these days and in the past, so I'm used to it.
No wonder you get along with politicians. Dana White, nice to talk to you. Thank you so much.
Always a pleasure. Have a great day.
And there we have it. Dana White giving CNN, MSNBC, and Fox News the business. Now, Elon Musk's been a busy boy editing. He threw this next video up on X, and it's absolutely hilarious. Kamala Harris at her very best.
I, Kamala Harris, am your Democrat candidate for president because Joe Biden finally exposed his senility at the debate. Thanks, Joe. I was selected because I am the ultimate diversity hire. I'm both a woman and a person of color. So if you criticize anything I say, you're both sexist and racist. I may not know the first thing about running the country, but remember, that's a good thing if you're a deep state puppet. I had 4 years under the tutelage of the ultimate deep state puppet, a wonderful mentor, Joe Biden. Joe taught me rule number 1, carefully hide your total incompetence. I take insignificant things and I discuss them as if they're significant. And I believe that exploring the significance of the insignificant is in itself significant.
Talking about the significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time, and there is such great significance to the passage of time.
Another trick is trying to sound black. I pretend to celebrate Kwanzaa, and in my speeches, I always do my best Barack Obama impression.
So hear me when I say, I know Donald Trump's type.
And okay, look, maybe my work addressing the root causes of the border crisis were catastrophic, but my knowledge of international politics is truly shocking.
The United States shares a very important relationship, which is an alliance with the Republic of North Korea. It is an alliance that is strong and enduring.
And just
Now, I think she actually said that part. Now, she's going to be in so much trouble in this election. The borders are. She's going to be carrying Joe Biden's baggage because she was part of that. The border crisis, defund the police. She locked up over 1,500 black men on marijuana charges. She never identified as being black until recently. Before that, she identified as being Indian. Now, personally, I don't care what she identifies as. If she qualifies for the job, if she's good at the job, good on her. Problem is, she was vice president for 3.5 years and she did a horrendous job. The only time you heard from her was that cackling laugh of hers.
remember, when voting this November, it is important to see what can be, unburdened by what has been. And by what has been, I mean Joe Biden. You think the country went to over the past 4 years? You ain't seen nothing yet.
There's that laugh. Now, what about Dana White? I love his openness, his honesty, his transparency. I love the way he sticks up for Trump. I love the way he sticks by him no matter what. Not only Trump, but a lot of his fighters. He doesn't care which side of the aisle you lean. It doesn't bother him. Like you said, he's not political, but like many people, I think he's basically a good common sense thinker. Anyway, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments section. I look forward to responding. Don't forget to hit that like, smash the subscribe, ring the notification bell, and I'll catch you in the next video.